All right, welcome back to week 21. So I wanted to share my little experience at the pool at the moment, and I'll give you a little, not a backstory, but kind of context first, so you kind of enjoy the story as much as I experienced it. So being in jiu-jitsu and being in it for the last 14, 15 years, the more experience you have, the smoother you are in your craft. Especially in grapple, everything. So when a new person comes in and you roll with them, roll meaning spar in jiu-jitsu, you can feel the person's movement. The movement is in its infancy stage. You can just tell there's a lot of extra energy being used. There's not a smoothness to it. And in jiu-jitsu, there's a belt system, right? There's the beginners, which is the white belt, the blue belts, purple belts, brown belts, and black belts. And what it means is not that the black belts are better. They just have more experience than the lower belts. So the movements are a little bit smoother, not a little bit, a lot smoother, a lot tighter. So there's just there's no wasted movement. That's what I'm trying to say. And being 14, 15 years in jiu-jitsu, it's been a long time since I've felt like that beginner. Although there are higher black belts that, are much, much better than the less experienced black belts, but there's still a challenge. There's like smooth versus smooth, but the smoothness with the higher black belts is just smooth, extra smooth. It's been a long time since I felt like a white belt. There you go. Let's say that. And although I am a white belt in swimming, I'm a white belt in cycling, I am a white belt in running, and white belt in triathlon, I haven't been next to someone who's been a black belt in each individual sports. So I haven't really felt the difference. So today I was in the pool and, speaking of today's program kicked my butt. Woo-wee! Man, just hitting me with just lap after lap after lap, which is good. I'm doing a freestyle boot camp. So, preparing for the upcoming 24-week program in 6 weeks. Anyway, so as I'm swimming, this guy comes up and, he's lean individual, older guy. And, he has to come in because the place was packed. So he shared my lane. So I'm just swimming. And then once he comes in and starts swimming, I can feel the difference. This guy, in my eyes, a black belt. And not only a black belt in swimming, but a very powerful black belt. And I just felt the difference. I felt like a itty bitty white belt in an adult class. Oh man, every time he swam next to me, swam by me, I can just feel the water just pushing me out of my, just pushing me out of my rhythm. Everything that I wanted to feel is exactly what I felt. The intensity. I wanted to see if the intensity threw me off my rhythm. Did it spark an ego trip? He's just zooming by me. Do I attempt to keep up with him, or do I just maintain what I was there to do and not get off my game? Which was very, very interesting and very exciting. That's why I'm talking about it, because it was a great experience. I was able to maintain my ego and not want to match his intensity. Not that I could, but there was, a fighter's instinct is always to fight back, and it didn't happen, which is good. So which means the calmness from the jiu-jitsu has been able to calm me, and that has transferred over. And that was one of the questions that I've been wanting to know. So at least this was a small little test, which was good. And I also wanted to check to see, he just walked by. I really wanted to see how the intensity of the water was going to be next to me when I, attempted to breathe. And there was a couple times where I went for a breath and I just got a mouthful of water. I went back in on the next stroke, went up and spat the water out, got my, spat the water underwater, and then I got my breath once I was on the next stroke. So it was a very good test. It was a very good feeling. I'm glad that I was able to stay calm, and it kind of gave me just a little bit of a taste what I feel like it's going to be during the Ironman. Although he's not going to be going back and forth, but people passing me, because there's going to be a lot of experienced purple, brown, and black belts that I'll be swimming next to, along with a lot of white and blue belts. But it was good. It was a very good, intense feeling. So I'm glad I was able to stay calm. So thank you, jiu-jitsu. Thank you for allowing me to stay calm when things around me are intense. So it was a very good experience. I just wanted to share that with you guys. So welcome to week 21. All right, welcome back to week 21. And what I want to discuss is my schedule. All right. So the schedule, not just of the workout or the workouts, but also the schedule of my day-to-day life. And I need to juggle all of this. That's exactly what I talked about in the last video. So let's first break this down. So I'm fortunate enough to work in the morning. I start at 6 o'clock in the morning, so from 6 to about 1 is my work block, and that's Monday through Saturday. So the good news is work is done by the morning, and which gives me all of the afternoon for practice and for all the training that is necessary for this. So the good news is work really isn't an issue, other than probably waking up the next morning to go to work early in the morning. I don't know how my body is going to feel early in the morning, so that's definitely something that I need to be conscious about or be aware about, is I cannot let my energy be low in the morning. No matter how much I work out at night, I can't be low, because I'm servicing clientele, and not only are they paying for me for my knowledge, but they're paying me for my inspiration. And I cannot be very inspirational if I'm waking up in the morning tired as can be. So work-wise shouldn't be an obstacle or an issue regarding my training time. But my training time can be an issue for work, only because I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to start at 6. So that's work. Fortunately, very easy. Now, the program I explained a little bit last week. I'm going to go a little bit more into detail. The program wants me to do 3 days of cycling, 3 days of running, and they only want me to do 2 days of swimming. Now, I personally don't want to give up one of my swimming days. Now, the reason being is, to me, if I look at the 3 sports, swimming is my weakness. So I'm definitely not taking 1 day of swimming out, because again, I want to focus on my weakness, and I can kind of play with my days if I wanted to and take something else out. So swimming, I'm definitely not taking out. I'm learning way too much. I'm in a rhythm with my swimming that I cannot concede the training to think that I have the confidence enough to do this 2.4 miles with the current skill that I have now. I don't think so. So that's why I'm not giving up 1 day of swimming. So the swimming days, they have me swimming on Mondays and Wednesdays, but I can't do 2 times. So the 3rd day most likely will be hopefully on a Friday, if not on a Sunday. So I haven't really kind of played with it yet. I don't know how my body's gonna feel once I start doing all these practices, but currently the schedule has me Mondays and Wednesdays for swimming. Now, they have me working out 7 days a week. I guess they think swimming is easy, because Monday is supposed to be my rest day, but they have my swimming in there with my rest day. I have no idea why. Swimming to me is harder than running. Swimming is harder than cycling. Again, my opinion. So 1 day off with a swimming day, technically no days off, I guess. So Mondays, Wednesdays, and hopefully a Friday will be a swimming. Now the cycling, they have me on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays. So Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays works fine with me for cycling, so I'll keep that. And then they have me running on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. And then my workouts, they want me working out on Wednesday. So at the moment, that is my schedule when it comes to working out. And I'll show videos of all the different schedules. But at the moment, that's how I'm juggling it. What I can do is, the good news is they don't want me, my apologies. They want me training twice a week. I think it's a Wednesday and another day, I can't remember. But what I can do is, because I'm very confident in my strength and my ability when it comes to fitness, I think I can take 1 day off of fitness and then replace that day with a swimming. Although I'm not gonna take a day off out of cycling, I'm not gonna take a day out of swimming, and I can, if I wanted to, take away a day away from running. I will most likely probably exchange a fitness day with a running day. I have no idea. Oh, I do have an idea. I just can't bring myself to go running. It's just boring. I can't stand running. I would rather suffer, after running a race, having my legs super sore, than for me to go out there running. Again, that's my opinion. That's how I feel, but I definitely cannot take that feeling and that emotion into my training, because what really, really concerns me outside of the swimming, the second thing that concerns me is, how are my legs gonna feel from the cycling to the running? 112 miles is 112 miles. That's a long way to be cycling. And I need to run a marathon back to back right after that. Although I want to be lazy with my running, I cannot be lazy with my running, so running is a must. But again, if I'm gonna play with these workouts, the fitness and the running, I can always exchange. So again, that's just my personal opinion. I have faith in my running ability. Not that I'm super fast or I have a fast high run time, but I've ran races before. I've also hiked the John Muir Trail. Now the John Muir Trail, although not a marathon, but hiking 20 miles a day through the Sierra Nevadas really put a lot of strain on my legs. And I didn't have a hard time with that hike. I wasn't really sore. So again, I really have faith in my legs. So that's why I'm choosing to be lenient on the run, although I'm not gonna be lazy on the run. So that's just kind of where my mindset is at the moment. And I also mentioned that all the videos that I made with all the recovery tools and gadgets, that is gonna be done nightly. And I will show, Hyper Ice, which is the app that kind of centralizes all of the recovery tools, has a score, that a 3-day score and a tip and a regular score of how you're doing with recovery. So I have all these gadgets with all these things connected to my phone. So I have all these metrics, I guess, telling me if I'm recovered, if I have run, swam, or done everything by the book. So I have all these apps to kind of keep me and hold me accountable, which again makes life easy for me. I'm motivated enough that I don't need someone in my ear telling me what to do. I just need guidance. And because this is my first time being a triathlete, that I need some type of guidance in the beginning. Once I have the experience to do all these things, then I can kind of play with it and do the things that I want to do. But on the first time, I'm strictly being submissive when it comes to building this program. So I'm looking for outside help, which is good. All right, so this week also went out on a swim with my boy Alberto that is running the same race, and he is doing the same thing as I'm doing. He is doing research. He's reconning. And one of the things he told me is the current in the river is really fast. I thought it was gonna be kind of a slow river. The river that I can think of at the top of my head is like the Salt River in Arizona. We've tubed down that, and that tube was like a mile an hour. So I expected like a current like that, but I guess this current's a little bit faster than normal. So he was saying that he was reading a lot of people, whatever your time is that you're thinking, let's say an hour and a half, the current is fast enough where they're taking off at least a half hour off of the time what people are doing it. So again, it just reiterates the speed of this race. So with this speed of the race, I'm really wanting to take advantage of getting and reaching my goal, because there's probably not gonna be another race as on paper easy. So if I really got to hit my goal, and this is the race to do it. So there's a lot of things that are assisting and helping in that. So that's good news. That's a good news. But again, a race is still a race, and there are a lot of variables that can happen that could be unpredictable. So I'm respecting the course. All right, so that's my schedule. That is the breakdown. Again, I did my math a little bit wrong on the last video. We have 4 weeks left until the marathon. I thought that my 24-week program started exactly the week after the marathon, which it doesn't. It starts the week after. So it gives me 1 full week of recovery before I jump into all of the training. So, which is good, because my legs were sore last time and it took me about a week to recover fully from that run. But that currently is the setup. That currently is the breakdown. I'm doing great with my boot camp. I thought it was a 12-week program. It's actually 12 sessions, but there's a progression to it after. So after my boot camp of the freestyle, then there's the increasing of the endurance. And that is the one that I really can't wait to participate in, because that will lead me up right into when the program starts. So if I can increase, I'm on, I think, session 8 on the freestyle technique bootcamp, and that has really helped me with my technique of my stroke. I'm glad I started it. And then with that, followed with the endurance, that is gonna really set a strong foundation for me to really get prepared for this race once, we'll call it training camp. Once training camp starts, I think those 2 sessions are really, or 2 programs are really gonna help me into training camp when it comes to swimming. The cycling to me is a lot of fun. No disrespect when I say this, but to me, I feel like cycling is the easiest one when it comes to all of the sports. Again, my opinion. I'm not disrespecting, I'm not saying it's easy. It's easy to me, cycling. I know that when you put it into a race, and once I have to hit a certain miles per hour, then it's gonna be extremely difficult. but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So the run mentally fatigues me. I can't do it, but I'll do it, and I can do it, and once I start, it's gonna be easy. The cycling, I've been cycling, or I've been riding bikes my whole life, so it doesn't intimidate me doing 112 miles. I know it's difficult, no disrespect to the intensity of it. I know it's hard, but it doesn't intimidate me. Swimming intimidates me. So that's why the majority of my focus is on the swimming. So that is my feelings. That is the breakdown of my schedule. I hope it didn't confuse you guys too much, but just wanted to give you a breakdown of what my weeks are gonna be looking like in the next 4 weeks or 5 weeks when training camp starts. That's gonna be my schedule. When training camp starts, I will also do a follow along, just kind of follow along the whole day to see what I do, what I see every single day, and what I experience. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this little breakdown, and we'll see you guys soon. All right, I wanted to share some things on my bike and some perceptions that I've never had and things that I have to learn doing this triathlon. So let me share some things that are on this bike that I've never experienced before. So I hope you enjoy my perspective on this new sport. So one of the first things that I had to get used to are these bars. These are called tri-bars, right? I'm just giving you a POV, or a point of view, of what I see. So I place my elbows on the pad and I'm holding on to the bars. Obviously I'll hold on to both bars, but at the moment I'm holding onto the phone. So that's the first thing. Now the disconnect, I have to disconnect my hand to go from here to here, okay? Now it doesn't seem like that far, but when it comes to riding a bike, everything has to be balanced, or else you lose your balance and you fall. So there are no brakes, nor are there any gear shifting. The gear shifting is here on the side. One's a downshift, and this is an upshift, and the brake is here. So it's all together. So again, it doesn't seem like that far, but definitely some getting used to. Another thing is I'm used to bikes when there's gears, those little gears with numbers, so I know what gear I'm on. But if you see here, there are no gears or gear numbers. So everything will be based on how I feel and what gear I need. So that's kind of my perspective. I'm gonna put my GoPro on and go on a little ride so that you can see just what I see. I'm gonna go on a short little ride, give you a point of view of what I see when I get on my bike. Oh, almost fell right there. Didn't lift my leg high enough. All right, so I'm gonna clip on here, look one way, clip on the other side. I still haven't gotten used to clipping on fast. There's times where I can click on fast, and there are other times that I can't click on fast. That's definitely something I need to get used to. So that is definitely some practice. Here is that transition. Hopefully the camera gets it. So that transition, I'm holding on to the handlebars here. All right, I got my brakes, I got my gears, and now the transition would be having to let go of one, let go of the other. Now I'm on my tri-bars. So now that I'm on my tri-bars, I've committed. Right, I can't change my mind quickly on changing gears and or braking quickly. So something that I have to be aware of is when I commit, there better be a long straightaway. And here is the going back to the handlebars. Here's one, here's two. So that's kind of the perspective, or that is something that I've had to get used to as I've been riding the bike.